Hello and welcome for those metal detectorists and treasure hunters who are on tonight watching my show, my interview guest show tonight. And we have a return friend, Marc Hoover. And his group is the Adventures in History. And oh boy, has he been busy, has he got a lot to say. So let's welcome Marc. Here we go. Marc, all right, pal.
Hey,
Nice to see you.
John. Hey,
Great to
how's
have
it
you
going,
on.
friend?
Right,
How's it
come
going?
on. Right, tell us what you've been up to. Give us some updates.
Yeah, hey, John. Hey, it's a pleasure to be on with you again. Thanks for having me on. Um, I know we talked a little bit beforehand, but one of the things I'm doing now is we have an area in Central Florida, and again, we have to remind everybody our history is not anywhere as old as your history. So when we get back to the 17 and 1800s, that's really old for us, right?
Yeah, but it's still unique though, Marc. Still unique for us in the USA. There's quite a lot of uniqueness over there, mate.
There is. I mean, and this is one of the things that I was going to show you. Um, we found this area that is currently being developed. They're building new buildings, they're paving it over, and all of that. So we're trying to get in there and recover the history before they pave it all over. And I'm sure you see that over there.
Oh yeah.
But what this was in Florida, there's a river called the St. Johns River that comes down from Jacksonville down to Central Florida. And in the 1800s, what people would do is they would travel on a steamboat down the river and they would dock in a little city called Sanford, Florida. And Sanford had this huge rail yard, and people would get off the steamboat, get on the train, and then they would go on down to South Florida, down to Miami and the Keys and things like that. And so there's lots of relics in the old rail yard, and that's where they're developing right now. So we've been out there, we've been finding old coins, we've been finding,
Oh.
obviously like railroad spikes and things like that. But here's something I want to show you that's pretty cool. So this is a railroad luggage tag, and it's got the name of the railroad on it. This is from the late 1800s, and it's got a number on it.
Can you sort of tilt it a little bit? Let's just see if we can make out the writing. Just.
It's a little hard because it's.
Yeah, hang on. Just tilt it a little bit more towards you at the top.
Toward me at the top. How about that? It says
just about
South.
get some
It
of
says
it.
South
Get some
Florida
numbers.
Railroad.
Is it 301? Is that the
304.
number? 304. Yeah. Aye. Oh,
so,
right. Brilliant.
What they would do is they would put this luggage tag on somebody. It's brass.
Yeah.
And then it would travel with their luggage, and then everybody had on. So today, when you go to the airport, you get a paper tag on there, right? And they track it and all that. Well, this is what they used to put on them. So now what's kind of neat about this, I don't have one, but one of my buddies found one. It has front and back. And what they would do is they would have it transferring the luggage from the steamship or the steamboat to the railroad. And then they would flip it over on the back when they were coming back, and they would transfer it from the railroad to the steamship. So you know which way the luggage is going.
Which way the luggage is going. What are we talking the 19th century then, Marc?
So it was from like the late 1800s, like 1880 to it shut down in
Victorian.
around 1930s. Yes. And then the property was empty, and now somebody bought it, and now they're putting buildings on it. So we're getting all of the history out of it that we can before it's completely paved over.
Yeah. What sort of coins did you find then?
Yeah, so we're finding like V nickels, barber dimes, mercury dimes. One of the guys found an old large cent from like 1840s, I think 1841, I think. So, it goes back, some of the stuff. We found some old bottles in there that we know were pretty old. So, I mean, it's got a lot of nice history, but you don't see a lot of that around here. So when you find an area like that, you have to get it before they pave it over.
Yeah. I suppose you can also find some foreign artifacts and coins, aren't you, because of people traveling?
Yeah, I think, I think a couple of Canadian coins were found.
You're surprising the rich ones did. I know that they travelled quite a lot.
No,
The rich English.
they did able to hunt anymore.
Oh, I see. So you've
And
done all. Have you managed to put together a sort of a museum of artifacts and coins? Then
it's a great question. Some of my buddies have got some fairly large displays in a minute.
Yeah.
But they've got some really nice displays of bail seals, luggage tags, coins, things like that. So what we're going to do is I'm going to get 3 or 4 of the guys. We're all going to get together. We're going to get a picture in front of the old, across the street, one of the original facades for the railroad building is still
that's
there.
interesting.
So we'll get a picture in front of
That's
there,
nice.
and then I'm going to do a story on the history of that area, and then we'll show all the relics and things.
Oh, yeah. So to bring you back in time, that'd be brilliant. That, Marc.
Yeah,
That'd be
we'll do a
superb,
story. We're filming an independent production called Uncharted Expedition. And I may have mentioned this the last time, but Garrett Metal Detectors is sponsoring us, and some other sponsors like Maglite flashlights, Yeti coolers. And, you know, here in Florida, we had the Spanish galleons going up the East Coast, and, you know, some of them sank during a hurricane. So people are looking for treasure there. But what a lot of people don't know is that the Spanish actually explored all over the Americas. And where we're looking at out in Utah, they were mining for silver and gold. So there's a lot of mines out there that we've found that some of them are still open. We had KG and Ringy on from the Diggers TV show, National Geographic. They came with us for one episode.
Right.
And they found some, and I can't talk about it yet because we haven't aired yet, but they found some really cool relics from the Spanish. We know they were Spanish going back to the 1700s. Of course, that's not very old for you guys, but
it's old. It's old enough.
But you know, they were there, and the thing is that it's kind of tragic because they enslaved the Paiute Indians out there. And they forced the Indians to mine the silver. And it wasn't very pleasant. And usually when that mining was going on, they didn't live very long. They maybe live a couple of years. So the Paiute Indians revolted, and they had a big fight against the Spanish and ran all the Spanish out. So there's a belief that some of the silver bars that the Spanish had were hidden and left in that area. So we're trying to find it. We found the smelter where they would bring the silver in and then melt it in the silver bars. And wagons drawn by horses. And they would go to the coast and then put them on a ship and then take them back to Spain.
What stage are you at this then? Are you gonna go? We're gonna go back then, or?
Yeah, so we just finished episode 6. We're doing 9 episodes, and they have mapped out different locations that we're going to. We're doing 3 more episodes, and then the first episode will air on November 25th of this year. It'll be episode 1. Now, what's interesting is we're doing this as an independent production. This is not a network production.
So you're paying for it, then you guys are paying for it.
Yeah, or, we have investors, and, like Garrett Metal Detectors is sponsoring us. They give us all the equipment. Anyway, we are talking to an independent production or distributor over in Europe that wants to distribute in England, France, Spain, Italy, some of the European countries. So we haven't gotten a deal yet, but we're still working to try to see if we can do something where it gets shown over where you guys are at. I would say only about 20% of it is metal detecting. A lot of it is exploring the mines,
history, talking about it.
Yeah, rappelling over the cliffs, things like that. Yeah. Well, if this thing takes off, I could see us coming over to England and doing it with you guys.
All right. Oh, yeah.
That would be fun, right?
Oh, that'd be awesome.
It's a lot of fun. I like to explore and.
That's interesting too. Finding out what to do but you got another project as well as.
Yeah. So I'm growing my beard.
Right.
And
there's a reason behind that, we're presuming.
In 3 weeks, I'm going to Alaska to do
It needs
gold
to be bigger
mining.
than that, Mark.
What?
The bee needs to be quite long there up
Oh
there.
yeah, well, I'm getting it started. I'm a rookie gold miner, so
Yeah.
I've got
Oh, yeah.
started
So what?
growing my
Yeah.
beard.
So what exactly you plan up there then?
So what we're going to do is we're going to fly from Florida to Anchorage, Alaska, and then we're going to go from Anchorage to Nome, Alaska. And Nome is way up on the Bering Sea, not too far from the Arctic Circle. So like right now, it's like 40 degrees there. I don't know what
Is
that
it?
is. Yeah, I mean it's cold.
Oh.
So there's only a couple of months. Like the sun sets at 1:40 a.m. 1:40 a.m. is when the sun sets, and it comes up.
Right.
It comes up at 4:40 a.m. So there's only 3 hours of darkness. It's like light all day long.
Weird.
Yeah, it's because it's at the top of the world. So
Yeah.
anyway, 100 years ago, more than 100 years ago, they used to have gold mining camps there. And so last year, a guy was up there in this camp, and he found a 7-ounce gold nugget. Well, 7 ounces is pretty good
It's
size.
quite.
But
It's quite a
that's
lot.
so
Yeah.
rare that they offered him a
Yeah.
lot of money on the spot. They were just going to buy it from him, and he wouldn't sell it. And they said, "Well, we'd like to get you on TV." And he said, "Nope, I don't want to be on TV. I don't want to sell it. I just want to put it on my desk and use it as a paperweight." So anyway, somebody found, but they were metal detecting on the road, right? And the guys were going like, "Why are you metal detecting on the road?" And he said, "Where do you think they put all the tailings 100 years ago when they were doing all this mining? They made this
Yeah.
road out of all the tailings from the gold mining operation."
That's
So
true.
you metal detect on the road, and you could find a gold nugget right in the
Yeah.
road. So
Yeah.
we're going to do that. We're going to go fishing. It's world-class salmon
It is.
fishing, prospecting. We're going to go look at the wildlife and see if we can see some
Oh, that's
birds.
fascinating. That's great adventure, that, Mark. Absolutely
Yeah.
great adventure.
Other
Make
than
sure you bring plenty camcorders with you.
other than that, I'm not doing anything.
No.
Uh, hey, I want to show you something. I just got
Yeah.
this today. I went to a coin show with my wife and my granddaughter. And the coin shows are really good because they really teach the kids about coins. I'm going to show you this, but then
Right.
I heard you say something about Canada. I actually picked up a Canadian and a coin from Great Britain today. I want to show you both
Did
of
you?
them. Yeah, I did. But so when we were walking around, this guy had a booth, and he said, "Oh, I had some gold escudos, but I sold all of them out." And we started talking and everything. And before we left, he gave me his card. Let me see if I can get this right. Now, in the card right here is a
Yeah.
piece of gold.
Yes.
That's a gold. I don't know how much gold it is, but I said, you know what? This is fantastic because I'm going to Alaska and I can take this card and I can try out my detectors to see if they will pick up a piece of gold.
That's a piece of gold. Actual piece of gold, isn't it?
It's an actual piece of gold. And what I was going to do,
Right.
my pinpointer is dead, but I tried it earlier.
Yeah.
But what I was going to show you was the pinpointer on that little piece of gold actually goes off.
I see.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this on the ground, and then I'm going to try out
Yeah,
all
and try
my.
your machine on it and that.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
going to try like what's the best setting, what picks up gold, things like that. But the guy gave me this at the show, so this is my new gold tree. So
Well,
I'll
that's
probably
near. That's close to your fortune, isn't it?
yeah. He told me, he said, "Mark, I've never thought about that. If you do that and it works, do a video of it, and if I give him the video, then he'll
Yeah.
put it up on the web. Me
Yeah,
testing
that's a
his
great idea.
card, right?
Yeah.
So I picked up a coin. It's a 5 shilling from Great Britain.
Oh yeah.
It's
It's Elizabeth II.
1953.
It's a modern one, isn't it?
That's my wife's birth year, so I picked that one up.
What is
Here's
it? 1977?
No, 1953.
1953. Oh.
Yeah, but you can tell her it's 1987, so she thinks she's a lot younger. So
You tell it's 1977.
so here's one that I really liked. This is a Canadian coin.
You have to tilt it because there's a glare on it.
Is it better that way?
Yeah, I can see some sort of like.
Yeah, the plastic
It's
in there
Indian,
makes it
is it?
hard.
Isn't it?
But
It's the
it's
Indian one.
1838 Canadian coin. And the guy told me, he said, this is like the American colonial coin.
All right.
And I have a friend in Canada, and her name is Allison Walker. Allison is absolutely amazing. She does ring finds, she goes in the water. She's a cancer survivor. So what she does is she says, look, I'm not going to charge you, but if I find your item, can you donate to my charity for cancer?
All
But
right. Yeah.
anyway, I picked this up for Allison. I'll give this to her.
Yeah. Awesome.
And then the last one I was going to show you is this is actually a Cuban coin
Is
from
it?
1915. And of course,
I bet that's silver.
It is silver. I didn't know that. He told me it was silver.
Spin it round, Mark. Let's see the other side as well.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see the other side.
We're gonna have to special orders to put them in front of the camera, because I think with it being wobbly.
Is that any better?
Can you tilt it like that? Other way, like upwards towards the camera. Oh, nice. It's really difficult to see that, Mark.
A little harder.
Oh, I tell you what. Count 2 seconds and keep it in one spot. See what happens there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, it's not doing it.
It's a little better out here, I think.
Yeah, a little bit better. Yeah, I can see something, but not a great deal.
It's kind of
Have you got it upside down? Is it right way around? Anyway,
yeah, it's probably upside. Oh,
Cuban. 1915.
Yeah, it says the Republic of Cuba on the other side. It's a shield, is what it is. But anyway,
it's a shield. Are they pretty rare, them there, or what?
They're not rare.
They're not rare, but still nice. It's still nice to find it silver, isn't it?
We don't get Cuban coins because number one, we don't go to Cuba.
Of course.
And they don't come here. But back then, there was a lot more free trade between Florida and Cuba before it became a communist country.
Yes.
And the last one I got was this little Ottoman Empire. It's from 1623. It's a little tiny coin.
Oh, that's nice. What's the date of that? Sorry.
What's that?
What's the date?
1623 to 1640.
Oh, hey, that's old.
See that? Now this is one for you guys, right? But it's tiny. It's a tiny little coin.
Yeah, we don't find any of them, mate. No, definitely not.
But anyway, you go to these coin shows and you learn about how they make coins. You learn about how they engrave currency. And it's fascinating. And what's interesting is my granddaughter now is getting really interested in coins. She's already metal detecting. So now she's learning about coins. And one time she went to school and she had a buffalo nickel in her pocket. And she was telling people about metal detecting. And they said, oh, girls don't metal detect. And she said, oh, yes, they do.
Oh, yes, they do. 1980s, 80s and 90s. I mean, people frowned on metal detecting as a kind of like beachcombing thing.
Right.
Now it's become a hip thing and an interesting and fascinating and professional thing now, because obviously you're retrieving history and learning all about history of different periods, and obviously finding something valuable with a bit of luck, and get a lot of exercise. So it's a multitude of things that has now started to generate a lot of interest on both genders. It was male orientated, but now, hey, the women are catching up and they're finding stuff. They really are.
Really good female detectors. I know you guys have Digger Dawn over there, and you have some others over there. Like here, we have Gypsy Jewel. She's sponsored by Garrett, and she's thinking about doing her own. She's doing her own hunt in the fall. Trying to come up with a name for it. But anyway, she's got a lot of stuff going on. She may be on TV, things like that. I need to come over there and hunt with you guys. But hey, I want to tell you one last thing about this, females in the hobby. So there was a video of a guy on the beach, and he had his headphones on, and these 3 young girls came up to him, and they said, they were like, sir, can we interrupt you? And he took his headphone off, and he said, yes. And they said, can we ask you, what's the best thing you ever found on the beach? And he looked at all 3 of them, and he said,
you 3.
Best thing I ever found was you 3, but my wife is not going to let me bring you home. I want to I want to tell you about my latest project that I'm working
Go on
on.
then. Right, go.
So I'm doing this with an artist named Gary Penta. Gary J. Penta. Gary, we're going to try to get Gary on your show. About 3 years ago, my granddaughter, Solo, joined our club. She was the youngest member on our club. She was 10 years old. Okay, she's 13 now. And every meeting, we have things at the front of the room where everybody gets a ticket. And if your ticket gets pulled, you go up to the room and you pick what you want.
Oh.
And there's coins, there's stuff like that. Well, I was sitting behind the table because I was on the board, and her ticket got pulled. So she walked up, and there was a tiny little metal detector. It was a Garrett metal detector, about this big. And she grabbed it and she picked it and she said, "I want this," and she wanted it for her doll set. And I said, "No, we're going to put that in the display case, because it's handmade, handcrafted." And nobody knew who put it there or where it came from. Well, Gary's an artist, and he does miniature dioramas. He does just fantastic work. And people all over the world are messaging him saying, "Hey, can you make me a miniature detector?" Right. Well, he doesn't sell anything. Now, here's what's really interesting, John. Garrett Metal Detectors and Mind Lab both contacted Gary and said, "Hey, can you make us some miniature metal detectors of our brand? Because we're going to give them to our executives for Christmas." So he did, and he said, "Oh, by the way, can we make some more so I can sell them?" And they said no. They said no because you can't use our logo, you can't use our designs. So I said, "Gary, there's one way to fix this. Make your own metal detector with your own name and make your own design, and then it doesn't have to be a real metal detector. Just come up with something that nobody has, and then so what we did is we partnered with KG and Ringy, and we've been working on this now. It just got released this week, and I'm going to show it to you. This is called the Huntmaster Pro Mini Metal Detector. Now,
Nice.
so here is this is KG and Ringy's token.
Yes, a token. Yes, that's the metal detector.
This is the detector. It's got a different coil, but these are little miniature
coins. Oh yeah,
that he made. And you'll notice that the background is like a snake skin.
Oh yes.
You see that?
Yes.
Okay, so KG and Ringy met in Anaconda, Montana.
Oh, I see.
The anaconda is a snake.
That's true.
And the anaconda is a hunter. So we said, okay, let's come up with a name that incorporates hunter. So we came up with a Huntmaster. And a lot of people who put on hunts are called Huntmasters. But nobody has used that name for a metal detector. So we came up with the name Huntmaster Pro Mini Metal Detector.
Yeah. And, excellent.
So he put 10 of them up for sale on Monday night on another podcast. And they sold out all of them in 10 minutes. Well, what we'll do, John, I'm serious about this. What we'll do is we'll have KG and Ringy bring some over.
Oh, yeah.
When they come over in September. And then we'll let everybody know how they can buy them. And then they can just bring them over so they don't have to worry about shipping and all that.
Yeah.
And then they can just give them to somebody that can give them out to everybody over there.
Yeah. How much are they? By the way, how much are they? Do you know what kind of price?
So these are now. Let me be real clear about this. This is handmade. Everything is handmade. And the back of them are signed by the artist. Right here, he signs them. Let me get down here. Gary Penta signs them. They're $49.95, $50 a piece.
$50, okay.
They're collectible. I mean, we have people that say, "Look, I just want to put them on my display case. They're handmade. They're signed by the artist." If you get with KG and Ringy, they will sign the back of it for you. So they're $50. And again, every single one of them is handcrafted, handmade. We made for the launch. It was launched on July 4th, our Independence Day. And I'm sorry to say that because we had a big fight with you guys back in 1776.
We still haven't got over it, Mark.
So we made a 4th of July special, one only, red, white, and blue fireworks on the packaging, and it's marked 1 of 1. Only one person gets it, and they did a drawing, and one person won that special detector, and that was given away. It was done as a drawing for the launch. But these are going to be on Gary's website, $49.95 US, and he's going to make about 10 or 12, maybe at the most 10 or 12 a week. He'll put them out there like 5 or 6 at a time. He put some out on Thursday. They were sold out in 5 minutes.
So they must be quite hard to make then. They're not a simple thing to make. They're
not easy to make, and there's lots of different pieces. There's 3D printers involved. Then you got to do the packaging.
Yeah, that's true.
You got to put the coin in it, and anyways, a lot of work goes into it. You can go to mydetecting.com. Mydetecting.com is where his website is, and you can see all of his miniatures. He's got dioramas with little people metal detecting on the beach. He's got a little case about this big that you open up the case, and it's got a metal detector. It's got a shovel. It's got a pouch. It's got a digger, all in this little case about that big.
Yeah. Right. So different variations of what he produces.
Yeah,
handcrafted.
It's really some really. He took a book one time. He gave me this. I mean, everything he gives me, I treasure.
Yeah. Oh, definitely.
He gave me a book, and the book it's a story. But you open up the back of the book, and you turn it sideways, and it's got a light in there, and there's a whole scene of little tiny people inside the book. Like in a winter wonderland scene inside the book. So this book could be on a shelf. You take it off the shelf, you open it up, and you can see a whole winter scene all lit up inside the book.
Wow.
That's the kind of stuff he does.
Interesting and cool, isn't it?
Yeah, pretty cool. Yeah. I'm like, you know what, John? I'm coming over next year. Well, her ancestry is from Scotland. So we'll come see you, then we'll go to Scotland. And
Yeah.
I'll bring you some stuff. We'll metal detect together. We'll have a good time.
Oh, definitely. Thanks a lot, Mark, for being on, pal. It's been very interesting and fascinating what's going on across the pond. And I'm sure this will not be our last interview. And we'll link up at another time.
Okay.
And I'll say bye for now and catch you another time, pal.
All right. Thank you so much, John. I appreciate it.
You take care and see you a few months and give us a full report what you've been up to again, especially in Alaska.
Sounds
we want
good.
To see that gold, Mark. I
got to survive the bears first.
Gold nuggets. No, we're not bothered about bears. We're bothered about the gold, mate. We like the colour of the gold.
Okay.
And you probably some photographs of the salmon as well, I should imagine. Those big salmon that they find up there, isn't it, as well? You take care and thanks a lot. Catch you later.
All right.